Yesterday, we won Luton Town by 1-0, but we obviously got to injuries. One Eriksson and one Rasmus Hojlund. And today, the first video I'm making is all about Rasmus Hojlund injury blow. I'm going to discuss Eriksson later, but Rasmus Hojlund, I need to obviously dig deep into him and see how it obviously takes us into the remaining games of the season or at the summer transfer, also January transfer window, before we obviously go buying. Welcome to the United Matters channel. It's a Sunday. Hope you guys are really having a fantastic stay wherever you are. Rock and David is my name. You can as well call me RD, and I would like to thank everyone who has been part of our journey that has kept us going day in, day out, and promise you that we are not giving up. We aren't giving up, and we are pushing to see to it that we bring you the best of the best that you guys deserve, because you really deserve the best, apart from everything that other people are really hinting about. But you are here onto the channel that broadcasts strictly Manchester United content, and I would like to extend my gratitude to everyone who is subscribing to this channel. Continue to subscribe, because we are laced with like 6-7 subscribers to hit 16,000 subscribers, and that will be very important for us as we obviously get into this international break. Those that have gone ahead to church, thank you, and those that have prayed from home, it's nice, but the Lord God is there and is everywhere. Now, yesterday around the 70th minute, right, Rasmus Hojlund felt something in his muscle. You know, it was like a hamstring. Then as Erik ten Hag was obviously trying to bring him on, United got a corner and said, all right, let the corner first get done, and I get on Varane for Diego Dallo and Anton Martial for Rasmus Hojlund. And in that minute of him really sprinting back to the center, he felt helpless and he couldn't move, so he sat at the center side. So after sitting there at the ring at the center side, guess what happened? They came in through and obviously picked him up. After picking him up, he was taken off the field of play, and that is Rasmus Hojlund. So for Rasmus Hojlund, it's worrying really. It's really worrying that a player at his age, he's obviously getting to see to it that he doesn't even get those games in. And I really understand that he's going to play very many games ever since he returned from injury. And when you look at the number of games he's going to play, I think I was going to hate to play how many Premier League games? In the Champions League, he was going to hate to play 4 games, right? In the Premier League, how many goals has Rasmus Hojlund going to hate to really do? He has played 9 Premier League games, you know? 9 Premier League games, and he has been playing almost 2 games a week, because even in the Carabao Cup, Ten Hag used to bring him home to play. So he has gone ahead to play 14 games. And I think for a player who never really got a very good preseason, because when he was still having a preseason at Atalanta, he got a back injury and he found himself in a situation of really going off. Even when he came in at Man United, he had a serious back injury, and they had to obviously drive him to London for better physios to obviously assess his back injury. But in 2 weeks, he returned and made his debut for Man United as we played against Arsenal. That is Rasmus Hojlund. But he has been so unlucky that in the Premier League, he hasn't gone ahead to net any goal. 9 games played, 0 Premier League goals, right? But he is nearly getting there. He's nearly getting there. And I think the 5 goals that are going to score in the Champions League have going to obviously take the pressure off him. So for Rasmus, yesterday obviously went ahead to walk off the field of play ahead of the international break that Denmark has 2 games to play. Erik ten Hag, when asked about Rasmus Hojlund, he said, in this moment, I can't tell anything about it because I don't know. We do an assessment and we have to wait. We have to wait 24 hours for the conclusion, so we will give the medical team 24 hours to see what the problem is, if there is a problem. So Rasmus Hojlund, obviously there is a problem. in the back of his thigh. You can call it a hamstring. And it's really one of those injuries that if it's really to heal early enough, it will take 2 to 3 weeks. Now, from today until when we are playing our next game on the 26th, those are 2 weeks. We don't know whether Rasmus Hojlund will be fit, but I really anticipate that with the games that we are having, Anton Martial can come in and obviously do the needful. But him doing the needful, how fit can he keep himself? That is the huge question. Because I don't want us to really rush Rasmus Hojlund back. That will be the biggest undoing of this young man. I don't want him to suffer the problems that Anton Martial is suffering, because Anton Martial is suffering these injuries because he was played when he was injured during the era of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was played when he was injured, and that's why you see it that he turned out to be an injury-prone player. That is Anton Martial for you. And I trust Erik ten Hag when it comes to injuries, because he cannot hurry any player. That is it. He takes his time and he doesn't hurry any player back. So as it stands, I don't see him being hurried back. I'm talking about Rasmus Hojlund. He'll only return when we obviously have what we call a very clear approval from the physios of Man United, and we're having a good story and we're having a very good reputable new head of sports science at Manchester United. He was working at Arsenal, and that's why you see it that players are really returning early enough. For Aaron Wan-Bissaka, it was 2 months, but he returned back soon, and I think others will also return back as early as possible. So for Rasmus Hojlund, I believe he'll be given a lot of time to rest, and the decision for his return will really deserve to be taken serious. And that really resonates with exactly what Erik ten Hag thinks. He doesn't rush players back into his team. So the options that we are left with will be Marcus Rashford and Anton Martial. Now, I think those options can take us through. That is it. Because sometimes I believe maybe Marcus Rashford to get where he's supposed to be, he should first be played in the middle of the pack. That is it. You never know, because I think most of the goals Rashford scored last season, he scored them as a centre forward, if at all I'm not mistaken. So he's really lacking that confidence to score goals, and he needs to find himself into those positions of scoring goals. But if it's to take a month, I think Anton Martial can obviously take us through. He can lead the line against Everton away from home. He can lead the line in Galatasaray. He can lead the line when you're playing Newcastle away. He can lead the line when you're hosting Chelsea at Old Trafford. Even if he gets injured and Rasmus Hojlund is not back, Marcus Rashford will be there to get the job done and dusted. You can see Marcus Rashford playing through the middle of the pitch, and Garnacho, because he's obviously imposing himself as the best left attacking midfielder at Man United. Then we're having Amad Diallo back soon. Then there is Anthony, Pelestri can also be played as the right attacking midfielder. So I think we're having options, and I think with the players returning back from injury, I think we just have to find ourselves in a position of obviously knowing that we don't need obviously to get really worried about this young man, because a lot of pressure has been piled on him, and I don't want it to be that way. I think the only bad undoing will be him in the Champions League, especially continuing his tally of scoring goals. I 100% believe if he's to play against Galatasaray on the 28th, he'll have to score against them. That is it. And he might see himself really take his tally to 7 or 8 in the group stages, and he might find himself be the man to do the needful at the side of Manchester United to take on the team of Manchester United and score those goals. So for me, I just want him to really be healed. That is it. I don't want him to be rushed back, because we have some other people who can do the job. That is it. He has shown us his capabilities, and he is and his drive that he gives us, we now know exactly what he's all about. But sometimes you need to ease a little bit of pressure from this young man, and if he's past fit, then that's when we can only see him play. But for the international break, for the side of Denmark, I think he's obviously out. He's not going to play. And for me, it's really good for him not to play those games. Let him rest for 2 weeks, because ever since return from injury, he hasn't gone ahead to get a rest. And when you look at the group they're really obviously in, you know, Slovenia is topping it with 19 points, and Denmark is also having 19 points. You know, with 2 games to go, I think they just need 1 win out of the 2 games they're going to play. That is Denmark. They're going to play Slovenia in Denmark. Remember, Slovenia is leading the table, so if they beat Slovenia, then they will qualify. They also have to play against Northern Ireland. I know they're going to be missing Rasmus Hojlund hugely, but they have nothing to do, because the player got an injury, and they need to respect that. So guys, your thoughts onto Rasmus Hojlund injury blow? Me as Rokan David, for the kind of games I'm really having, I think the players that we have can obviously take us through and give us the best that we deserve as a team of Man United. He shouldn't be hurried. What are your thoughts about it? What are your thoughts about it? Do you think this player should be rushed back or not? May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David remains my name. See you later. I'm out. For the Muslims, Barak Lau Fikum. First video of the day, more is yet to come. Chelsea and Man City 1-1. Erling Haaland has gone ahead to give Man City a lead through a penalty, and 3 minutes later, Thiago Silva went ahead to obviously level the game through a very beautiful run to the near post and headed that ball home to make it 1-1. So it's 1-1. As I told you, that Chelsea is one of those teams that when they are playing against big teams, they obviously put up a show, and don't be surprised that a shocking result will be put up tonight. I'm out.